Hook, what if the impossible happened? What if the one person Amy Fleming never thought she'd see again suddenly appeared at Heartland Ranch? After 6 long years of heartbreak, after learning to live without him, after finally finding a way to move forward, Borden is back. And the moment Amy sees him, everything she's built comes crashing down in the most emotional scene Heartland has ever filmed. This isn't a rumor. This isn't fan fiction. This is season 20, episode 1. And what happens will leave you absolutely speechless. Grab your tissues, because what you're about to hear will break your heart and put it back together all at once. Let's go back for a moment, because to understand why this return is so powerful, you need to remember the pain. Season 14 destroyed us all. Borden, the heart and soul of Heartland, the love of Amy's life, the father of her daughter Lindy, gone. Not written off the show, not moved away, gone forever. The writers didn't give us an easy out. They gave us reality, and reality hurt. Like nothing else, Amy's world collapsed that day. We watched her struggle through the grief, trying to be strong for Lindy, trying to keep Heartland running, trying to remember how to breathe without him. Season after season, we saw her slowly rebuild her life. She learned to smile again. She found purpose in her work with horses. She became an even more amazing mother. But anyone who's ever lost someone knows the truth. You never really move on. You just learn to carry the weight. For 6 years, fans begged for Ty to come back. Social media exploded with theories, with hopes, with desperate wishes. But Graham Wardle had moved on from acting. The door seemed permanently closed. Amy's story became about healing, about finding strength in loss, about honoring Ty's memory while living her own life. It was beautiful, it was real, but it was also heartbreaking because we all wanted that fairy tale ending that seemed impossible. Then season 20 was announced. Fans expected more of Amy's journey. Maybe a new romance. Maybe new challenges at Heartland. Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, expected what the writers had planned. Because sometimes, just sometimes, television gives us the miracle we've been praying for. And this miracle starts on a quiet morning at Heartland Ranch, where everything is about to change forever. The sun rises over Heartland Ranch just like it has for thousands of mornings before. Amy is in the barn, doing what she does best, working with a troubled horse. This one's a rescue, skittish and afraid. And Amy talks to it in that gentle voice we all know so well. She's brushing its coat, whispering reassurances, completely focused on the animal in front of her. Lindy is at school. Jack is fixing fence posts in the far pasture. Lou is handling ranch business in the office. It's just another ordinary day. Except it's not. Amy finishes with the horse and walks toward the barn entrance. That's when she freezes. There's a truck coming up the driveway. Not unusual. Heartland gets visitors all the time. But something about this truck makes her heart skip. It's old, beaten up, forest green with a dent in the front fender. Her breath catches in her throat because she knows that truck. She knows it like she knows her own heartbeat. But that's impossible. That truck was sold years ago. She watched it drive away, taking a piece of her soul with it. The truck stops. The engine cuts off. And for what feels like an eternity, nothing happens. Amy stands there, her hand gripping the barn door so tight her knuckles turn white. Her mind is screaming that this can't be real, that grief is playing tricks on her, that she's finally lost it after all these years. The driver's door opens slowly. A boot hits the ground. Then another. And then he stands up. Borden. Not a ghost. Not a dream. Not a hallucination. He's there, real as the ground beneath her feet, looking at her with those eyes she thought she'd never see again outside of photographs. He's wearing his old denim jacket, his hair a little longer, his face showing the weight of years apart. He doesn't say anything. He just stands there, 20 feet away, looking at the woman he loves like he's afraid she might disappear. Amy can't move. Her legs have turned to stone. Her lungs forget how to work. Everything around her, the birds singing, the horses moving in their stalls, the wind rustling through the trees, all of it fades into complete silence. The whole world has shrunk down to just this moment, just this impossible sight in front of her. Her brain is fighting itself, logic battling against what her eyes are seeing. Dead people don't come back. Dead people don't drive up in their old trucks. Dead people don't stand in your driveway looking at you like their heart is about to explode. But here's the thing about Heartland. It's always been a place where impossible things happen. Broken horses learn to trust again. Shattered families find their way back together. People who've lost everything discover they still have something to fight for. And now, in the most impossible moment of all, Ty takes a step forward. Just one step, testing the ground, testing reality itself. Amy's hand lifts to her mouth, tears already spilling down her face before she even realizes she's crying. Amy. His voice cracks when he says her name. That voice she's heard in her dreams for 6 years, always fading away just as she reaches for it. But this time it doesn't fade. This time it's real, solid, actually there in the air between them. Her knees nearly give out. She grabs the barn door tighter, because if she lets go, she's going to collapse right here in the dirt. Ty takes another step, then another. I know this doesn't make sense, he says, and his voice is shaking just as hard as her entire body. I know you have questions. I know this is... He stops, swallowing hard, his own eyes glistening with tears. I'm here, Amy. I don't know how, and I don't know why, but I'm here. Amy's body moves before her mind can catch up. 1 second she's frozen at the barn door. The next she's running. Not gracefully, not carefully. She's stumbling over her own feet, her vision blurred by tears, her hands reaching out like she's drowning and he's air itself. She doesn't care if this makes sense. She doesn't care if she's lost her mind. She doesn't care about anything except closing the impossible distance between them. Ty meets her halfway. They crash together with a force that nearly knocks them both to the ground. Amy's hands are everywhere at once, grabbing his jacket, touching his face, running through his hair, desperately trying to prove he's solid, he's real. He's not going to evaporate like morning fog. And he is real. She can feel his heartbeat pounding against her palm. She can feel his arms wrapping around her so tight she can barely breathe. She can feel his tears soaking into her hair as he buries his face against her neck. You're here, she gasps between sobs, the words barely coherent. You're actually here. How are you here? Her fists clench in his jacket like she's terrified he'll disappear if she lets go for even a second. Ty doesn't answer with words. He just holds her tighter, one hand cradling the back of her head, the other pressed against her spine, holding her like she's the most precious thing in the universe. They sink to their knees right there in the driveway, still clinging to each other, still crying, still unable to believe this moment is actually happening. 6 years of grief, of loneliness, of missing him so badly it physically hurt. All of it comes pouring out in these desperate, gasping sobs. This isn't a pretty television cry. This is raw, ugly, soul-deep emotion that can't be contained or controlled. I never stopped loving you, Ty whispers against her hair. Not for 1 single second. Time loses all meaning in that driveway. It could be seconds or hours. Amy has no idea and doesn't care. All she knows is that Ty's arms are around her. His chest is rising and falling with real breaths, and his tears are mixing with hers. But slowly, reality starts creeping back in. The logical part of her brain, the part that's been silent since the moment she saw that truck, starts whispering questions she's terrified to ask. Because what if asking them makes this disappear? What if the explanation ruins everything? Ty seems to sense her thoughts shifting. He pulls back just enough to look at her face, his hands cupping her cheeks, his thumbs wiping away tears that just keep coming. I can see your mind working, he says with that small, knowing smile she thought she'd never see again. You want answers? His own smile wavers, uncertainty flickering across his features. I wish I had better ones to give you. Amy's hands are still gripping his jacket, still holding on like he might vanish. I don't understand, she whispers, her voice hoarse and broken. Ty! You... She can't say the word, even now. With him kneeling in front of her, she can't say it out loud. Saying it might make it true again, might take him away again. I know what you saw, Ty says quietly, pain etching deep lines around his eyes. I know what everyone saw. I know the funeral, the grief, the years you've lived without me. He pauses, struggling with words that seem impossible to speak. But somewhere between that moment and this one, something happened that I can't fully explain. A second chance that defies every rule of nature we know. The barn door creaks behind them. Neither of them had noticed Jack walking back from the pasture, but he's standing there now, frozen mid-step, his weathered face gone completely white. The fence post tool drops from his hand, clattering against the ground. Jack's knees buckle. This tough, unshakable man who's survived every hardship life could throw at him. He grabs the fence rail to keep from falling. His mouth opens, but no sound comes out. He's staring at Ty like he's seeing a ghost, and maybe, in some way, he is. Amy turns her tear-stained face toward her grandfather, still clutching Ty like a lifeline, and sees her own shock and disbelief mirrored perfectly in Jack's eyes. "Grandpa," Amy manages to choke out, but she doesn't know what else to say. How do you explain the unexplainable? How do you introduce someone who shouldn't exist? Ty slowly stands, helping Amy to her feet, their hands still intertwined like they're physically incapable of letting go. He looks at Jack with a mixture of respect, love, and devastating guilt. "Jack," he says simply, his voice thick with emotion. "I know this is impossible to process. I know what this looks like, but I promise you, I'm going to explain everything I can." The sound of the office door opening cuts through the tension. Lou steps out onto the porch, phone in hand, probably about to ask Jack something completely mundane about feed orders or vet schedules. But the words die on her lips the instant she sees the scene in the driveway. Her phone slips from her fingers, hitting the porch with a crack. Her hand flies to her chest. "Oh my God," Lou breathes, and those 3 words carry the weight of 6 years of mourning, of watching her sister suffer, of helping raise Lindy without her father. "Oh my God, that can't be." Amy nods, tears streaming fresh down her face. "He's here, Lou. He's really here. This is the moment that changes everything. Not just for Amy, not just for Ty, but for every single person at Heartland Ranch. This is just the beginning of Season 20, Episode 1, and already it's the most emotional premiere Heartland has ever delivered. Ty's return isn't just about him showing up, it's about what happens next. It's about the questions that need answering. How is this possible? Where has he been? What does this mean for Amy's life now? What about Lindy, who barely remembers her father? What about the years of grief and healing? The writers aren't giving us easy answers. They're giving us something better. A story about second chances, about miracles we never saw coming, about love that literally defies death itself. This episode is going to take you on an emotional journey that will leave you crying, laughing, and desperate for more. Season 20 is proving that Heartland still knows how to deliver those gut-wrenching, beautiful moments that made us fall in love with this show in the first place. Ty Borden is back, and nothing will ever be the same again. What do you think about this impossible return? Could you handle seeing Amy and Ty together again after all these years? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Heartland updates, theories, and breakdowns. Because trust me, if this is just episode 1, we're in for the most incredible season yet.